Now we do have a discussion item. There is a resolution that is up for discussion opposing U.S. Senate Bill 446 and supporting gun control legislation pending in the New Jersey legislature. We're going to address two issues. One is the resolution, and the other is the issue of this council and any other township council passing resolutions about legislation at a higher level. It is my personal opinion that it is not only our right but our obligation to comment on legislation being passed at the state or federal level that would affect the quality of life in our town. And with that, we'll start the debate or discussion with Aisha. We'll go around, we'll make a decision on how to proceed. We are not going to go back and forth and back and forth. So
I prepared this resolution, and mostly spurred by the fact that I reacted quite negatively to the Parkland shooting, and had a few sleepless nights because, you know, my kids go to school, and Parkland is a very similar community to West Windsor, and it all just hit a little bit too close to home. So why us, right? Why should we be doing this? We're a little township council, and why now? Why us is because we put these elected officials who can actually vote on these issues in their jobs, and I expect to hold them accountable for voting on these issues. But I can't hold them accountable if I don't tell them what my wishes are. And I think that we as a community have expressed a desire to say we want some sensible gun controls, but we have no control over that. So I feel like we need to be sending our instructions up the line to say, we expect you to oppose Senate Bill 446. What that bill does is it overrides New Jersey law, and that terrifies me. In New Jersey, to get a concealed carry permit, you have to go through training and prove that you have been trained to carry a gun. In other states, you do not. In other states, you don't even have to have a concealed carry permit. So what Senate Bill 446 does is it says, doesn't matter what your law is, we're imposing on you the law of the weakest state. I'm a resident of New Jersey, I'm a taxpayer, and I'm a voter. It is my obligation, my responsibility, and my right to say to these lawmakers, you need to have my back on this issue. And this resolution is what that does. Now, the four bills that we referenced as proactive measures that New Jersey State Legislature is 7 bills, only 4 of them came out of committee. 6 came out? Right. So those are the bills that are referenced in our resolution here that we want to say to our state-level legislators, both at the Assembly and the Senate, we expect you to vote for this. They came out of committee. Committee thought they were good bills. Now we expect you to vote yes on them. And so that's why there's these 2 pieces of legislation almost combined into one in our resolution to be efficient about it. Now is the time, right? If not now, when? So I see a lot of things on, in the news about we don't talk about gun control in the face of a tragedy. No, I want to talk about it now. This is my resolution, so I'm hoping that you will consider this an appropriate time and an appropriate subject matter. Thank you.
Virginia?
Yeah.
Oh, Hemant, you would like to say something?
When I got elected, I said I would be active mayor, I would participate in all discussions, and I intend to do that. And those of you who know me know I never back out of an argument, whether you like it or not. So I'm going to say a few things that may offend some people, but I had let my thoughts known to both Ms. Hamilton and Ms. Miller ahead of time. So therefore, I'm a little disappointed that we are even having this discussion and this made it to the agenda. Last week, and in fact throughout my term on the council, I've been advocating that the budget control begins with passing the budget, not by pulling numbers out of the hat. And this is an absolute waste of taxpayer dollars to push personal preferences, whatever we prefer, at the expense of Westminster taxpayers. No offense to Mr. Herbert, but we are paying him good money to just sit here and listen to this discussion, and we are paying him to ignore his advice. No offense to you. If somebody else was sitting there, I would have said the same thing. This is not a discussion about content of the resolution or whether we need gun control. We need sensible gun control. We need sensible affordable housing policy. We need sensible school aid policy. We need sensible tax policy. We need 50 sensible things in this country, right from the township level to county level to state level to the federal level. And I can go on listing 50 areas and 500 bills that I feel we need support and that need to be voted on. But I was not elected to do that using my elected position as mayor. Ms. Hamilton can express support or disapproval for everyone from Secretary General of the United Nations to the Mayor of Westminster, from the Pope to the Imam of local mosque. However, to use her elected position, she should only advise the Mayor of Westminster, because that's what she was elected to do. And other times, she can use her own time, own money, own thing to do whatever she wants. And I do the same thing. It's not that I don't participate in debates, but not using my position on the council. So I will assure all Westminster residents that all of us sitting here are for sensible gun control, for a lot of sensible things. But I will not use my elected positions to do tasks only for, I will use my elected positions only to do tasks for which I was elected to do, not to use that position to do anything else. We can debate this for next 5 hours, and you're paying this guy to sit here for next 5 hours. And I can come up with 15 different resolutions. Every one resolution, every council meeting, or 4 resolutions every council meeting, okay? And spend a lot of taxpayer money to push something that I feel need to be discussed. We just came up with affordable housing ruling, absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace that we are going to spend $500,000 in 2 years on lawyer fees, okay, without a single affordable house being built. And that's just one small town in Westminster, okay? And there are 500 such towns in Westminster. How much money is being wasted? There are a lot of things that are happening that you can comment on. But this is not the place or time or use of position to do that. So that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I don't control the council agenda, so it's up to Ms. Miller, what she wants to do, but I will say my piece.
And we'll each get a chance to say our piece. Ms. Mazzari?
So New Jersey legislators had hours of testimony and hours of discussion before advancing several bills on gun control. And yet, this council is being asked to support those bills, even though we've heard no testimony. We have no expertise in this area, at least I don't. We have no idea what those laws will actually say, and we have no jurisdiction in this matter. So this resolution is not a matter that the council should be voting on. I try to make it a habit not to vote on things that I know nothing about. As a local government, we shouldn't be using township resources to debate issues that we have no jurisdiction over. What if somebody wanted to debate late-term abortion, for example? It would be inappropriate for this council to debate that. And since voting yes for this resolution would have zero impact on West Windsor, there's really no reason to spend our time and our resources on it. I don't have a political agenda beyond West Windsor. I was elected to be a council member in West Windsor to do my job that's put before me. That, first and foremost, that's the budget. And then, running the township to the best of our abilities. I don't have any sights on any other political career, so I don't really have an interest in talking about national politics. up here, and I don't think this is the place to do that. Again, we just should be focusing on the issues that we were elected to do.
Ms. Murray?
I have 3 boys in the school district. Like any other parent, their safety is of utmost importance to me, and I'm truly aggrieved at the recent incidents of violence in other communities. While all of us understandably feel the need to do something, it is important to distinguish between the different levels of government and what can be accomplished through engagement at each of these different levels. Using township time, council time and resource to pass resolutions which have no teeth is not only of limited use, but can also be counterproductive. What we need to do is to focus our energy on, at the township level, on issues like infrastructure and affordable housing. These are things we can do something about at the township level. I hope that we, the council, can set aside political posturing to come together as a team to tackle these complex problems. Thank you.
I respectfully disagree with my colleagues to my left, your right, because I think that this is the forum to make comments about higher level governments. I have seen in my 13 almost years up here how reactions by the New Jersey state legislator and some of our federal legislators to resolutions passed by multiple townships have been positive. We can make a difference as a council by passing resolutions. I think this is crucial. I think that the idea that people from out of state can walk into West Windsor with guns in their pockets, people who are not used to the density of New Jersey and not used to the way we interact is, quite frankly, scary. I think each state should be allowed to set its own standards, subject to overwhelming standards, overturning standards from the national government. That is, I think the government can regulate things like gun control, but they should not overturn the state's wish to regulate things like gun control. I think this is appropriate. I think that support for what our elected officials are doing in Trenton is appropriate from this body. And I fully support a resolution, whether it's this one or amending this one slightly, to express our feelings that action should be taken on gun safety. However, tonight we have 4 people here, and it is quite clear that we are not going to pass this resolution. There is a difference of opinion. I think that we have expressed it respectfully. I would like to reschedule this when we have 5 people, but I would like to end the conversation now so that we do not, as you were saying, waste township resources by continuing it. I think we will not convince each other. But I hope that as individuals with no use of township resources, everybody in this room will send a message, sign a petition, send a message to our state legislators and our national legislators. And it would be possible with this coming back to get copies of the state legislation, and I think we should do that before rescheduling this for discussion.